It's Hippo Balls, week 14, coming to you live from the Hippo Den. It is Hippo himself. We got a real rainy day in Tallahassee, so there may be some thunder, some lightning, some noises in the background, but I'm going to try to do the best I can. We're getting down to the nitty gritty here. I'm trying my best to keep my bye. We'll see how that goes. I don't love my chances, but let's get into who's back, who's dead, who's not back, but not dead, and then we'll get into the games, of course. We also got a conspiracy for Tim. Starting off with Nerdy Nazis. Nerdy Nazis are back. This week, the House Committee had a hearing on anti Semitism Tuesday of this week with Harvard President Claude Gay, Penn President Liz McGill, and MIT President Sally Kornbluth. Of course, this comes on the heels of widespread anti Semitism and really anti Jew protests around all the Ivy League campuses, around campuses nationwide, but especially the nerds. The nerds are not liking the Jews right now. Scary times at all of the Ivy League schools and the country in general, but Ivy League schools have not done a good job, allegedly, what the House is saying and what Republican leaders, Democrats been silent on it, but Republican leaders mostly are saying anti-Semitism is running rampant in the Ivy League schools. They bring these three presidents in, Gay, McGill, and Kornbluth, and they stutter for 3 hours. This woman, I forgot her name, but she's asking these questions, and she's basically asking, would would calling for the genocide of Jews violate your code of conduct? And they all were like, well, and she keeps asking again and again, like simple question: does calling for the genocide of Jews violate your code of conduct? And all of them were like, it depends. I don't know. Not great. Tons of backlash. McGill, this guy comes out for Penn and says that he's going to pull $100 million. He's Jewish, and he says that I don't like that answer. I'm going to pull my $100 million donation unless McGill steps down. Not great. McGill has to step down. She's still a tenured professor, but she has to step down. And then I think that another part of their team stepped down as well. Gay like kind of apologized, but she's still pretty fucked. She's pretty new too to Harvard, so not looking good for her. And the MIT president, I think, is hiding in a bunker or something. I haven't heard from her. Not great. These schools look not good. Of course, they're trying to backpedal, but not ideal. Day 3 of Hanukkah for the Jews, so good for the Jews. Even in times like these, let's light the menorah and keep the celebration going. Next up, we got the Lakers. The Lakers. Last night, I turned on an NBA game. I think for the first time this season. I know the in-season tournament was supposed to be good. These players are playing hard for the 500K a person. And the Lakers won the in-season tournament last night. Congrats to the Lakers. We got old LeBron and AD. AD put up 41 and 20. Legendary performance from AD. 500K to each of these players. They won 123 to 109. It was close for a long time, and then like the last 5 minutes they pulled away. AD just dominated. Good for the Lakers. Good for them. Their last guy on their bench making it rain. Next up on Who's Back, we got the Japanese. The Japanese are back. Starting with Shohei Ohtani, who shocked the sports world by signing a 10-year, $700 million deal with the Dodgers. Ridiculous money. I remember growing up, we would see $100 million deal, and we're like, that's crazy. Inflation and whatever else, these TV deals, we're up to $700 million. I remember the A-Rod deal. It was like $232 million when we were growing up, and that was crazy money. This is still crazy money. A lot of it's deferred, so it's going to be like Bobby Bonilla world, where he's getting like $70 million forever in perpetuity. Great for Shohei Ohtani. He's doing the hitting and pitching thing right now, of course. He got Tommy John. Is he going to be doing both forever? No. On the front end, it looks like a great deal for the Dodgers. They're not going to pay him $70 million a year, a lot deferred. They're going to be able to add more pieces. They're in win now mode. They also getting the backing worldwide of all of his fans in Japan buying Dodger jerseys, doing all that, watching the games. I'm sure it's going to be worth it for the Dodgers. It's a good deal both ways. It in year 8, is it going to be the Pujols deal where they're just losing money? Sure, but it doesn't matter. They're the Dodgers, and they're still going to be making a ton of money just with his name and image and likeness. Good for Shohei Ohtani. Good for the Japanese. Next up, we got Oppenheimer coming to Japan in an olive branch. On the anniversary of Pearl Harbor, the Japanese came out and said that they will release the movie Oppenheimer in theaters shortly. It's the 82nd anniversary of Pearl Harbor, which of course occurred on December 7th, 1941. And after a lot of time and thinking, they decided we will let Oppenheimer into our theaters. We realize we both said some things, but now is the time to come together. Good for Japan. Good for Shohei Otani. Good for Oppenheimer. On to who's dead. We got Norman Lear. Norman Lear, an amazing Jew, died at 101. Huge bummer. Great guy. Comedy and entertainment icon who wrote and produced 100 shows such as All in the Family, Maude, Sanford and Sons, One Day at a Time, The Jeffersons, and Good Times. Also known for his political activism, he was very liberal and progressive, and he was against the far right that was pushing like Catholicism, Catholic stuff into government. He bought a Declaration of Independence at one point for $8.1 million and was parading it around the country. Anyways, this guy is a legend. He fought in World War II, and some of his characters. I don't know if you grew up watching Nick at Night like I did, but when I was going to sleep as a kid, I'd watch Nick at Night, and all of his shows were on. Archie Bunker and All in the Family is an amazing character. All these shows, first of all, are amazing. You have to realize that back in the day, there was like 4 channels, and there's of course tons of writers. So the best writers are writing on these shows because there's only like 4 shows. Now you have 10,000 shows, and you have bozos writing a ton of things because there's 10,000 channels and streaming and this. So it's all watered down. Back then it was the best of the best of the best writing these shows. Norman Lear is the best of the best of the best. Back in the day, this is the 70s and the 80s and the 60s. He's putting all of these black characters. Good Times was the first African American two-parent sitcom, which is an amazing show, by the way. Archie Bunker, All in the Family. This guy is comes off as a white racist guy, but the point of the show is to show that he's learning that maybe he doesn't need to be racist, maybe he doesn't need to be sexist. He's actually turning into a good guy. He has Sammy Davis Jr. over to his house in one of the episodes, who also black Jew, good for Sammy Davis Jr. Sanford and Son, Red Fox, black media at the time, hilarious show. He owns like a junkyard with his son. Really, really, really funny. You should go back and watch some of these shows. I promise you that you will still like them. They hold up well over time. Norman Lear, legend. R.I.P. Norman Lear. Who's not back but not dead? We got being a degenerate. Being a degenerate's not back but not dead. Let's start off with Jags employee Amit Patel, who was charged with wire fraud for racking up more than 22 million in fraudulent credit card purchases on a company credit card. He was the sole administrator of the team's virtual credit card program, and he decided to buy luxury travel arrangements and $95,000 watches. He also had a Tesla, a country club, and a condo. His lawyer came out and said that he is going to plead guilty, and he had a very serious gambling addiction, and 99% of the funds were gambling losses. So he's saying the 21 plus $1 million were gambling losses. I've been on some cold streaks. I've never been on that cold of a streak. Ahmed Patel, not back but not dead because he had a time, but wire fraud, not ideal. Next up, we got Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden, talk about degenerates. New indictment, 9 charges, 3 felonies, 6 misdemeanors, tax evasion mostly for all of it. He's already facing gun charges. Do I feel like the gun charge is pretty fake? Yeah, they're saying that he didn't admit that he was a drug user when he bought the gun. I don't know. They're targeting him a little bit, but still, this guy is a pretty huge degenerate scumbag. News comes out that he spent $872,000 on prostitutes, porn, and sex club memberships, and took out 1.6 million in ATMs. And this is over a short period of time. Do you know how hard I couldn't take out 1.6 million in ATMs. It's hard to do. You can only take out a certain amount of money. That's crazy. Probably one of the best guys to party with ever. Legendary partier, legendary guy to hang out with, but not ideal for Hunter Biden. Not ideal for Joe Biden either, really. But that's showbiz. That's Hunter Biden. Lastly, we got pump up speeches. Pump up speeches. A report came out that in 2019, Sean McDermott, coach of the Buffalo Bills, of course, who have been floundering, and hopefully, either way for the Dolphins, if the Bills lose or the Chiefs lose, it's good for the Dolphins. I'll get into that in a little bit. But while trying to get the squad to play more like a team, he used the metaphor of the 9/11 terrorists as a good example of teamwork and communication. He says they were all able to get on the same page, and that's what we need to do. Of course, he had to come out and apologize for that. Why that report is coming out now, I have no idea, but it's not a great look. I think the Bills' window is closed. They're frauds. They're done. Josh Allen back to reverting into bad Josh Allen like he started his career with. Conspiracy theory of the week. Tim, you asked, I answered. Princess Diana's death. Of course, this is a classic. Everybody knows that Princess Diana didn't die in a car accident, it was on purpose. When Princess Diana, a beautiful young royal outsider known as the People's Princess, was killed in a car accident in Paris in 1997, 1 year after a divorce from Prince Charles. And of course, divorce is not is very frowned upon when you're the princess. Conspiracy theories immediately abounded. The specifics vary, but the crux of most Diana related theories is this: the car accident that killed her was not an accident. At the time of her death, she was dating Dodi Fayed, an Egyptian film producer who died in the limo alongside her, who was supposedly planning to propose to Diana the night of the accident. In a court witness stated Dadi's father, Muhammad Al Fayed, said they were killed because the monarchy couldn't stand the thought of Diana and Prince Charles' sons, heirs to the British throne, having a stepfather who was Egyptian and Muslim. You know the Queen doesn't fuck with that. Dottie's father also claimed Diana was pregnant at the time of the crash. The thought of the coroner who Though the coroner who examined Diana said she was not. Of course, the coroner was in on it. Another theory is that the limo driver, Henry Paul, who was drunk at the time of the accident, intentionally crashed the car because Paul was the head of the security at the Ritz Hotel in Paris, where the couple had departed from just prior to the crash. Conspiracy theorists believe he may have been on the payroll of a national intelligence service group that wanted Diana dead. Other theories believe that Diana's medical care after the crash was deliberately sabotaged. For conspiracy theorists in the US, the idea arose from the differences between French and American approaches to emergency care. In France, protocol dictates that the emergency medical personnel will attempt to stabilize a patient before transferring to the hospital. In the US, getting to the hospital first is the priority. Because Diana was treated at the scene and not immediately rushed to the nearest hospital, some think this is proof that they offer. Of course, the Queen killed Princess Diana. You can't have Muslim prince in the British. That wasn't happening. Anyways, on to the games. I didn't write anything about this. I'm very depressed about Pacheco. Gabe has been sitting at home with his doll poking my players, his voodoo dolls. He's been trying to kill off Keenan Allen all year. He killed off Pacheco somehow. Trevor Lawrence breaks his leg in half and somehow is going to play this week. Life is not fair at all. I'm trying to get my buy and he's trying to steal it from me. He's a rat. But anyways, I had to pick up. Also, I picked up McKinnon instead of CEH. I was spiraling. I have to drop Lockett for a kicker, maybe. Things are not looking good for Unhinged Hippo. But let's get into it. We got top six this week, of course. I'm projected 102 right now. That's not in the top six, but I'm gonna. We'll see. As of right now, I have Gabe winning. He's projected 124. Nima winning, of course. He's hot, 119. Sean winning at 117. Bird and Danny competing for the bottom six. I've been in a group with them. It's been good. Danny, what a story that would be. Great trailer you put out. Snoop Dogg, amazing movie. Got 5 million views so far, mostly from Gabe. But you put out that trailer, you make the sixth spot. That would be a legendary story, of course. Vivek's been faltering somewhat. He's in the 7 seed right now. He's projected 118. Noah's projected 115, and Jan's projected 116. And then we got Tim at 115 and Eli at 112. This is going to be a real tough week for six. Give me Gabe. Give me Nima. Give me. Give me Sean. Give me Vivek. And give me Siegel. And that means I lose my bye, which is a bummer, but whatever. For the culture. Hopefully Pacheco comes back next week. I really don't like that. I don't want to get booted. Bets. We got I don't know, man. That Jags Browns line is ridiculous because who knows if Trevor's playing. Um Give me the Chiefs minus 1.5. Bills are frauds. Mahomes has been a fraud too, but give me the Chiefs, even without Pacheco. Give me Chargers minus 2.5 Broncos. Broncos have been way overperforming, Chargers underperforming. Good game from Herbert here to hopefully save me into the top six. I don't know about that. Probably not. Um, and then give me Cowboys. If you can get -3, take the -3. If it's -3.5, I don't love it as much. Dak has always faltered against the Eagles. I think the Cowboys are better than the Eagles. I think Eagles kind of frauds too. Give me the Cowboys. Give me Dak, who's been playing on fire for Nima with the Dak stack. The Dak stack. Give me the Cowboys to win here. Right the ship. Finally get over the hump against the Eagles. I like that. Anyways, have a day.